When I started on this journey, I don't think that I was adequately prepared for everything that making a trading card game would take. Like I'm a guy. I'm one guy. I don't have the skills, expertise, and experience that I think would be preferred when dipping your toes into a field like this, but I just thought I'd try my hand at something that I was passionate about. Because of that, there have been a number of things that I haven't really been prepared for, and I've just sort of had to like adapt to on the fly, and one of those things has been figuring out how to get people to actually play my game. I play games like quite a bit, and if I'm honest, it's rare that I find myself giving something that's completely random and completely new and unvetted a chance. There is this sort of thrill that comes with trying out something that's new and independently made, but I will be honest in saying that the instances of that happening for me personally are few and far between. So with that as like a sort of metric in my personal headcanon, I figured that building a community for this game and finding people to play it might be harder than actually making the game itself, especially given my limited social skills. Sitting in my room, writing stories, designing games, that's easy to me. That comes naturally. Engaging in continued and extended conversation with people, that just doesn't jive. I don't know what to tell you. I came up with a game plan early on that was supposed to be sort of the go-to guide for how I would approach marketing, and in hindsight, a lot of those things didn't end up working out, but I thought it would be interesting to share what I did try, what did work, what didn't, and what has changed. My very first thought process was the most obvious one: to use my personal YouTube channel to try and promote and market the game to my existing audience. I made a series of videos that explained the rules of the game and the fact that it was coming out soon. I released a full original soundtrack to the game, but that got varied results at best. It didn't really take well. You see, that channel had been dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh for most of its existence, and so the audience that existed there was primed for Yu-Gi-Oh content. Not many people were really interested in seeing other things, even if they were trading card game adjacent. You may have heard that thing before about how certain YouTubers feel trapped within their niche because the YouTube algorithm doesn't really reward diversity as much as it does consistency. Well, the same logic sort of applied here. Those videos did an okay-ish job of letting some people know that I was making a game, but quite frankly, they were never going to do well, especially considering that by that point, I was barely even making Yu-Gi-Oh content on that channel anymore. I had sort of fallen out of love with the game, and so there was no way I was going to use that as the launch pad for a brand new project. On top of that, I think I chose to start with the wrong type of content. Teaching people the rules to a game that they can't really see or interact with doesn't really do more than offer some pleasant speculation. My next move, and one that I felt was a lot more successful, was to start streaming the development of the game on the Soul Plays Anime channel. I had built a mock-up on the game in Tabletop Simulator, which meant that if you knew the rules for the game, you could go in and simulate actual matches, and we used this for card design and balance testing, but it also meant that people could actually watch the game, which was a step above just teaching them the rules. Because this was still over on the dedicated Yu-Gi-Oh channel, what I would usually do is start streaming Yu-Gi-Oh, and then about halfway through, switch to game development to try and draw people in and garner their interest that way. This was genuinely a lot more effective than I thought it would be. At the time, I was streaming to anywhere up to 40 to 60 concurrent viewers, and when I made the switch over to Summoner's Nexus, around 20 to 30 of them might hang around for a while, and yes, that number would go down the longer that the stream lasted, but it did a decent job of getting the word out to the existing community. My next plan was to leverage some of what I'd learned in my time as a YouTube content creator, and that is that shorts tend to do a lot better in the algorithm. They go further. Now, they don't do nearly as good for revenue because, you know, the views don't count for as much, but my objective is promotion. So I was fine with blasting shorts out there, trying to get as many views as possible, even if there was no revenue to be made from it. I decided to make 200 shorts that I would use to try and get eyes on Summoner's Nexus, and while it's taken a lot longer than I initially expected it to, I'm happy with the results. It's been slow, but it has been steady, and that has worked to get new eyes on the project. Not to mention, having constant content coming out of the YouTube channel keeps us in good standing with YouTube's algorithm, and if the titles are catchy enough and we get the right thumbnail going, they actually do have some decent draw. Initially, I was posting these on my personal channel, but what I realized is that by doing that, I was limiting the reach of those shorts and also prematurely killing my channel at the exact same time, because the people who were subscribed to the channel weren't going to click on those videos, so the YouTube algorithm wouldn't push them out to new people, and as a result of videos on my channel not being clicked, when I posted something that was Yu-Gi-Oh related, it was less likely to be sent out to everyone who might want to see it. The plan was actually to repurpose that channel into a Summoner's Nexus focused channel. It's just with how many eyes wouldn't be on the videos from day one, I decided that it would do more harm than good, because, you know, YouTube does the thing where it checks if your subscribers like something. If they don't, then it's like, well, if your subscribers don't like it, why would anyone else? And then they don't push it. So the YouTube algorithm is sort of the thing that has been helping us, but also has been something that we've had to master as part of the process. So yeah, it took some back and forth to decide to eventually make a new channel, especially because I was so attached to that one, but I think it was for the best. If anything, I just wish that I had started sooner, actually. Once the game is out, promotion should become a lot easier, because it's a lot more impactful and engaging for me to say, hey, try out this new game that I made, versus me just talking to you about the game and telling you about it. So my hope is that once it's out, things do become a bit more straightforward, but the lead up to that release is also very important, because you want to start on a good note. I'm going to keep on trying out, implementing different strategies, see what works, see what doesn't, because, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I don't think I'm going to turn people actively away from the game, unless, you know, that's exactly what I end up doing, but I'm not going to know unless I try. So we're going to keep on trying things. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, help us to share it, help us to subscribe, and just, yeah, get hyped for the Summoner's Nexus release. I'm looking forward to everyone being able to play it if they're not already, because we have an open beta that is planned. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. Subscribe so you get more info about that, and join the Discord community so that you have a network of people to play with once the game is out. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye.